Hey guys, Joe here with Reasonable Media. Welcome to the 2018 midterm elections. People all across the country right now are standing in long lines out in the rain, waiting for their opportunity to cast their vote in this election and get their voice heard. We're still a few hours out from the first polls closing, but this is definitely a competition of the Democrats' blue wave against Republicans' red wall. And at the moment, it's anyone's game. Now, if you've been following the build-up to this election, you know Democrats have a reasonable opportunity here to win back the House, so much so that Nancy Pelosi's gone on record saying that she's confident they will win. So Democrats are definitely optimistic about the House. They are less optimistic about the Senate, as it's a much tougher battleground for them there. Now, the way I see this election is this really breaks down to one of two scenarios. This is either the beginning of the end of President Trump's administration, or it's the beginning of what may one day turn into, the Trump dynasty. So there's three possible outcomes that we might see tonight. The first being Democrats win the House, but lose the Senate, which is probably most likely. The next would be Democrats happen to win both chambers. Not terribly likely, but still possible. And the last option is that Democrats get blown out tonight, much like they did in the 2016 election. And this is a possibility you just can't discount, because as we've seen in 2016, you just cannot rely on polling data to tell you one way or the other. So the Democratic optimism in the polls, may prove to be another blowout for them. Now, granted, Democrats aren't fielding Hillary Clinton, which I think in large part kept voters home in 2016. So they don't have the weight of Hillary dragging them down, which may improve their numbers. So now, if the Democrats win either of the chambers, or both of them, the reason I say this will be the beginning of the end of the Trump presidency isn't necessarily that he'll be removed from office. It's that if Democrats are able to get control of at least one house or one chamber, I think we're immediately going to go back to the obstructionism that we've come to know and love through past administrations. They will obstruct every bill. They will create a bevy of investigations, and they will do any and everything they can to otherwise thwart President Trump and Republicans from making any progress for the rest of his term, much like we've seen in the Obama years with Republicans. Now, if there really is a blue wave and Democrats do happen to get both chambers, even then, I wouldn't expect to see much done. Yes, there will still be investigations. Certainly, they will try to impeach Donald Trump. But even if they win the Senate, they're still not going to have a whole lot of votes. And when it comes to removing a president from office, you need more than 51 to 49. So I don't expect a lot of progress one way or the other. I think if they win both chambers, which is unlikely, but if they did, I think they would use that for even more political grandstanding and to bring the government more or less to a complete and grinding halt until 2020. Now, option 3. Democrats get blown out like they did in 2016, like we just discussed. This is a possibility. Polling data is all over the place. Now, despite what polling said in 2016, Democrats lost huge in 2016, whether it was governor's races, the Senate, the House, the presidency. They lost big time. So still a possibility despite what any polls say. Now, what does that mean for the Trump presidency? Well, if Trump pulls off that big of a win, if Trump really has built an impenetrable red wave, this is really going to be the beginning of Donald Trump's presidency. gone will be the days where he allows his aides to restrain him from attempting, whatever idea pops into his head at the time. The fear of losing the midterms is gone. The people will have come out in strong enough force to have surpassed the blue wave, meaning he's got overwhelming support from his base. And I think that's going to fuel him. I think that's going to take the chains off of him, and then you'll really see him go all in. Attorney General Sessions, gone, right? Rod Rosenstein probably get transferred out to Alaska somewhere. And the Mueller investigation will essentially be castrated. If Republicans continue control of all three chambers, I think it'll be carte blanche for Trump. I think Republicans who may have been on the fence about following Donald Trump, the guys right now who are there sweating bullets, looking at the numbers, wondering should they have resisted Trump or should they have embraced him. If they pull off a win tonight, you're going to see him lockstep in line behind the president. And he is going to have the full backing of the House and the Senate at that point. Gone will be the days of Jeff Flake or Bob Corker. And instead, whatever Trump says will be what they do. And while I'm not a Trump supporter, I'm not even really a fan of him, at least in some part, I'm curious to see what that looks like. What does a Trump presidency look like when he is unrestrained, when he's been given the confidence of the American people to really go for it? I don't know. I imagine it'd make interesting political theater, but we won't know for another few hours, so only time will tell. But that's our video. What do you think is going to be the outcome of this election? Do you think the Democrats have, in fact, built a blue wave that's just going to wipe through all of Congress? Do you think Trump has been successful in building a red wall to stop that wave? Leave a comment below and let us know. Most importantly, if you haven't already, get out there, vote. There's still time for your voice to be heard. Almost as importantly as that, if you like this video, leave a like, leave a subscribe. This is the new channel. Every like, every subscription, every share, it helps tremendously. And thank you guys so far for all the love we've gotten. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.